Dear officers, inspectors and staff of RPF family, मैं VVS श्रीनिवास, डायरेक्टर इंडियन रेलवेज इंस्टीट्यूट ऑफ डिजास्टर मैनेजमेंट बेंगलुरु, आज आपके साथ एक इम्पॉर्टेंट विषय पे एक प्रेजेंटेशन करने जा रहा हूँ. Disaster management in Indian Railways and expectations from RPF is the title of today's talk. Disaster is a very unpleasant incident. In railway parlance, traditionally we knew the name with the name accident. Then today we will see what is a disaster and what is the importance of golden hour, and how traditionally we have been handling disasters, that is the role of various departments, and finally a special emphasis on the RPF roles and responsibilities. What is a disaster? Any sudden accident or natural catastrophe that causes great damage or loss to life. ये तो जनरल गूगल डेफिनेशन है, बट इलेबोरेशन जो है डिजास्टर मैनेजमेंट एक्ट 2005 में दिया गया है. मीन्स ए कैटास्ट्रोफ, मिसहैप, कैलामिटी और ग्रेव occurrence in any area arising from natural or man-made causes or by accident or negligence which results in substantial loss of life or human suffering or damage to and destruction of property or damage to or degradation of environment, and is of such nature or magnitude as to be beyond the coping capacity of the community of the affected area. इसका मतलब है जो एक बड़ा अनफॉर्चुनेट इंसिडेंट जिसकी वजह से लोगों को तकलीफ पहुंची, चाहे वो लॉस ऑफ लाइफ हो, लॉस ऑफ प्रॉपर्टी हो, जो उन लोगों की खुद की एफर्ट से वो हैंडल नहीं कर पाए, तो ये DM 2005 का जनरल डेफिनेशन है. आहिस्ता हम जनरली रेलवे स्पेसिफिक एरियाज में भी बात करेंगे. देन व्हाट इज गोल्डन आवर? टुडे आफ्टर द एक्सीडेंट्स there is lot of emphasis on golden hour everywhere. So the golden hour is the time in which we can save lot of life. So now we will also delve into that in this talk. First, what is the definition as per Railway Board Safety Circular? Railway disaster is a serious train accident or an untoward event of grave nature, either on the railway premises or arising out of railway activity in that area due to natural man-made causes that may lead to loss of many lives and or grievous injuries to a large number of people and or severe disruption of traffic, etc., necessitating large-scale help from the government, non-government and private organizations. The railway disasters are to be declared by GM/AGM or CSO of the railway. This is a railway specific definition given in the year 2009. Then coming to the golden hour. This golden hour concept was emphasized in the high level committee recommendations 2003. This committee was set up after the Geisel accident in the North Frontier Railway during the year 1999, which caused death of nearly 300 persons. After that, the entire railways disaster management system was reviewed by a committee headed by Sri Dhasharadhi, who was the member, Railway Board Mechanical at that time, and other senior members of Railway Board, including the DG of the RPF, and several suggestions were made for improving the preparedness, especially with the primary focus on saving the people's lives who are affected by the accident. The fundamental concept there was golden hour. Let us see what is the golden hour. It is the first hour after the trauma is exactly within the 1 hour of the occurrence of the accident or the suffering or the injury, the period that is there is called as a golden hour. If a critical trauma patient is not given definite medical care within 1 hour from the time of accident, chances of his ultimate recovery reduces drastically, even with the best medical attention thereafter. This is 1 hour period is generally known as the golden hour. So hope all of you understood that first 1 hour में हम लोग को बेस्ट पॉसिबल एफर्ट्स लेना चाहिए, मरीज को अच्छी तरह हम जो असिस्टेंट नेसेसरी है वो दे दें, ताकि उनका जो सर्वाइवल रेट है बिल्कुल बढ़ेगा। और 1 घंटे के बाद जो है ये बेस्ट ऑफ द बेस्ट हेल्थ केयर देने के बावजूद भी सर्वाइवल चांस जल्दी जल्दी घटते जाएगा। Golden hour means the time period lasting 1 hour following a traumatic injury. This is what is being regularly highlighted in every forum today, and very high emphasis is given. Most of the patients can be saved if within golden hour we take care of two things. One, if there is a bleeding injury, उसको stop करना है, और दूसरा blood pressure को restore करना है। नॉर्मली एक बड़ा एक्सीडेंट होने के बाद ऑन अकाउंट ऑफ शॉक और ऑन अकाउंट ऑफ इंजरी उनका कंडीशन हालत खराब होता है। दैट टाइम दे हैव टू गिवन कंफर्ट, सपोर्ट एंड देयर ब्लड प्रेशर टू बी रिस्टोर्ड विद एश्योरेंस विद द वेरियस मेडिकल और पैरामेडिकल असिस्टेंसेस in addition to the stopping the blood flow on account of an injury, that bleedings on account of an injury. The persons under shock, especially, are to be immediately relieved of the shock. That is possible by giving them assurance that they are in safe hands. They can go to the nearest medical facility and have a chance to be perfectly all right. This is possible through the communication and the a kind of empathy for the passenger. And then transport to the nearest hospital should be arranged within the golden hour so that the best medical facilities can be provided to the affected parties. For being effective in any disaster management, system must aim at recovering as many critical patients as possible and rushing them to the hospital within this period. Here, somewhat the application of mind comes into picture. हम जब साइट में जाते हैं वहाँ तरफ तरफ का लोग होते हैं जिनके बारे में हम अगला वाला स्लाइड्स में बात करेंगे, बट जिन लोग को तुरंत मेडिकल असिस्टेंस का जरूरत है उसको फर्स्ट एड तुरंत देके, उसको कंफर्ट देके, उनका ब्लीडिंग हो रहा है तो कंट्रोल करके, ब्लड प्रेशर काबू में रखे, उसको तुरंत हॉस्पिटल में शिफ्ट करना जो है हमारा सबसे इम्पॉर्टेंट प्रायोरिटी होना चाहिए इन गोल्डन आवर। As the information about the accident received, the priority of normal working changes. यहाँ यहीं पे लोगों को अपना समझदारी और डायनामिक डिसीजन इन कंसल्टेशन विद ऑल कंसर्न लेने का जरूरत है। किसको पहले भेजना है हॉस्पिटल, दिस में बी सब्जेक्टिव, बट ए गुड डिसीजन टेकन कैन सेव ए लाइफ। Priority goes to the movement of men and material to the spot. As soon as it happens, one hand, whoever are there at the site will immediately focus on saving life, and those who are already approaching the site, maybe slightly after golden hour or within 1 or 2, they must all reach with the maximum material. Assistance of local railway, immediately available crew, onboard staff and other concerned authorities of railways play a major role in this. These are in true sense the first responders, those who are available at the site and are expected to immediately plunge into action to provide the maximum relief to the affected passengers. In Indian history, also in world history, there are many accidents. It is proven time and again, wherever there is a prompt action, the life has been saved, and it was facilitated by the good teamwork and good training. So today let us look at the Indian Railway's strengths in handling various disasters. As all of you know, Indian Railways is having its own well-established processes and also accident relief trains and manpower who are trained over several years and dedicated and nominated personnel. They are all the strengths of the railway. So let's have a quick look at what are our strengths. Railway's own communication network. That's a major strength for us because previously when the cell phone was not available, the railway communication was a very important source of strength for us. Operating control on each division linked with each station. That is, even at the remote corner of a zone or an Indian Railways, we can immediately get the information because of the control rooms are linked to railway stations. Previously we had territorial army units, now also some are functioning. Those personnel are well versed with many activities to be taken up in the event of any unfortunate incident. Uniformed force of RPF and RPSF. Here I should commend the excellent work being done by RPF and RPSF personnel in patrolling, in providing the security to the railway personnel traveling, and also in saving the railway assets. Now, in the present presentation, we are going to delve more into how this can be expanded. Railways' own medical infrastructure. Very few organizations can boast of such big infrastructure of medical facilities. Civil defense organization, which is also encouraged in railways, is another very strong support system which can step in to help in the case of an accident. Army of gangmen spread out all over the Indian Railways. Railway tracks are regularly patrolled and maintained by the staff from the civil engineering department. They are immediately available on the proximity of any kilometer of the track. They can rush to the spot और उन लोग का मदद से काफ़ी हेल्प भी मिलता है. वो लोग लोकल होने के नाते काफ़ी लोकल रिसोर्सेस मोबिलाइज करने में भी उसका काफ़ी योगदान होता है. और स्काउट्स एंड गाइड्स, the St. John's Ambulance Brigade and many other such organizations are encouraged by railways. All of them are also very handy in providing support and dedicated rescue and restoration and medical equipment on rails. That is our ERT trains. These are all the unique strengths of Indian Railways, which perhaps no other organization in India other than maybe defense or some organizations are having. This is a huge strength we should be proud of if at all there is any unfortunate accident. I am also happy to share that Indian Railway safety history has been excellent for the past quite a few years. Then there are few areas where there is a small gap. Nowadays we are trying to fulfill it, to make it good by having tie-ups with the other expert agencies like NDRF, SDRF, fire services. ये क्या है, जिस एरिया में हमको स्ट्रेंथ नहीं है वहाँ पे आजकल NDRF, SDRF जो बन गया है उनका मदद लेके हम काफ़ी कुछ काम कर सकते हैं. जैसा आर्मी भी हो सकता है, नेवी डाइवर्स भी हो सकता है. तो ऐसी चीज़ों में एक है कि टनल रेस्क्यू इक्विपमेंट, इसका भी प्रोक्योरमेंट हो रहा है, तो ये भी हमारा इंडियन रेलवे सेल्फ सफिशिएंट हो जाएगा. नॉन अवेलेबिलिटी ऑफ ट्रेन डाइवर्स. पानी के अंदर जब भी कोई ट्रेन गिरता है ब्रिज कोलैप्स होने की वजह से या ब्रिज के ऊपर डिरेलमेंट होने की वजह से, उस टाइम जो पैसेंजर स्टील बॉडी कोचेस में स्टक हो जाता है उसको निकालने के लिए डाइवर्स का जरूरत पड़ता है. ये एरिया में अभी हमारा एक्सपर्टीज डेवलपमेंट स्टेज पे है. रिसेंटली हम लोग ने NDRF का पर्सनल को ट्रेन किया है इंडियन हमारा इंस्टीट्यूट में. और this way we can have synergy, that is one will have pull together our resources. Non-availability of cranes operated from ship or barge for lifting the coaches or bogies from the water body. कहीं पानी में गिर गया तो हमारे पास चाहे 140 टन क्रेन बहुत पावरफुल हो, उससे तो वो कोच को उठाना काफ़ी मुश्किल होता है. उस टाइम हमको फ्लोटिंग क्रेन जो होता है पानी में एक बाज के ऊपर रखे जो फ्लोट कर जाता है, उससे तो काफ़ी हेल्प मिलती है. वो आज का डेट में हमारे पास नहीं है, वो बाहर से मोबिलाइज करना पड़ता है जब कोई पानी में एक्सीडेंट होता है. CPR डिजास्टर्स एंड मेजर फायर्स, इन चीज़ों में भी हम एक्सटर्नल एजेंसी इस पर डिपेंड करना पड़ता है. limited resources to handle terrorist attack on a train and on a station and other railway premises. इसमें अनप्रेडिक्टेबिलिटी ज़्यादा है और जो हमारे पास जो डिटरेंट रिक्वायर्ड है वो अलग है, वो फिलहाल हमारे पास नहीं है। आरपीएसएफ इन चीज़ों में कुछ लेवल तक मदद कर पा रहे हैं, बट इसमें भी अच्छी ट्रेनिंग होने से और भी हमारा तैयारी अच्छी होगी। सो रेलवे रिसोर्सेस जो हमारे हाथ में तुरंत होता है, इसको हम 4 यूनिट के अंदर डिस्कस कर सकते हैं। रिसोर्स 1, railway and non-railway resources on the train and at nearby surroundings. Already जैसा हमने बोला है पहले ही, जो गैंगमैन होते तो वहीं पे उसी लोकेशन में काम करना होगा। सिमिलरली ट्रेन में जो ट्रैवल करते हैं, जैसा आपका ड्राइवर, असिस्टेंट ड्राइवर, गार्ड, जो ट्रेन मैनेजर कहा जाता है nowadays, and AC staff, TTEs, on-board staff who are involved in cleaning, जो escorting staff, including RPF, they are all the immediate men who can plunge into the action. It is to be remembered that कोई एक्सीडेंट हो गया तो हमारा सबसे पहला कर्तव्य है कि तुरंत हम चाहे किसी कार्य के लिए जा रहा है, लेकिन वो सब साइड में रख के हमको रेलवे एक्सीडेंट में मदद करने का हमारा मैंडेट है। So all of us should think that any accident happens is as to it is a personal accident, and that much of care should be and concern and attachment should be shown so that we immediately plunge into action. If we are on leave, we should treat that it is cancelled, and immediately we should do everything possible, more than what we do when we are on a duty, when there is an accident, while we are traveling on a train and experience an accident for that particular train or due to that train. Resource 2, railway resources available at ARME, accident relief medical equipment and accident relief medical vans and elsewhere within the division. So from that particular location, in the division where the train is running, there will be lot of mobile equipment available, and sometimes not, they are sometimes even they are kept in a box. So they are the ones which can be rushed to the spot from the nearest position. Then the third one is in the adjoining zones and divisions. Suppose we need more of them, there is a bigger accident, we can rush them to the that particular place. So they take still longer time. The first one, those who are resource 1, those who are on train can immediately start. Those who are nearby stations and whatever is there can come after that, including the RPF personnel who may be posted in various stations nearby. And the third one is the proper equipment from the adjoining divisions. And lastly, non-railway resources available within or outside the division. So they may be NDRF, SDRF, the local communities and all of them. So what are the resources to face an accident available on a carrying in the passenger carrying trains? First aid box is available with the guard. It is also available with train superintendent and a pantry guard. Portable telephones are available, fire extinguishers are available in brake van. Portable telephones are there in locomotive also. That is in the rear end of the train and front. दोनों ends में ट्रेन के हमारे पास जो कम्युनिकेशन इक्विपमेंट है, फायर एक्सटिंग्विशर भी होता है। वॉकी टाकी कम्युनिकेशन जो ड्राइवर और गार्ड के बीच में काफ़ी फायदेमंद होता है। और मोबाइल फोन्स आजकल not only of driver and guard, of the passengers also play a major role in ensuring very quick and meaningful communication. Doctors or paramedics may not be from railway, may be from railway, traveling in train. Nowadays, normally they are required to tick if they belong, they are a doctor or paramedics. If they are, they can immediately identified by the train superintendent and can be approached, or they themselves can also plunge into the action. Railway officers and staff traveling on the train, as I already told, we should feel that we are on the duty immediately if in case of any unfortunate incident and plunge into the action. Passengers traveling on train, many of them will volunteer to help those who are injured. So they will be also a very useful resource for us for providing immediate and prompt response within the golden hour. Then volunteers from nearby villages. As soon as an accident happens, number of times, lot of people come forward to give the assistance. They may not be having formal training or professional training, but they will be very much willing to provide whatever they can. It may be rescue, it may be providing some logistic support, or it can be providing lot of water and things like that. अभी recently जो accident हुआ उड़ीसा में, वहाँ पे ये बालासोर एक्सीडेंट में लोकल कम्युनिटीज़ ने काफ़ी मदद किया था, जैसा पानी सप्लाई करने का, खाना सप्लाई करने का, ये सब चीज़ों में उन लोगों का काफ़ी योगदान था. तो ये हमदर्दी का जो मदद मिलता है, it is very very crucial in these accidents. And transport passing through, suppose there is a nearby LC gate, level crossing, वहाँ से जो ट्रैफिक जाते रहता है वो लोग भी मदद करते हैं. और tractors and trolleys can be mobilized for nearby villages. These are 2 and 3 are basically for carrying all the passengers who are injured immediately to the nearest best possible medical facility. So tenets of successful accident management are, firstly, it depends on spontaneous reaction of men available on the train at the time of accident. So जो important चीज़ जो है कि ये summary में कहा, we are trying to put it, so that what everybody should know how to become a very effective person in an accident. That is, firstly, it depends on spontaneous reaction. That is, there is no need for anybody to tell what you should do, why you should do. We should be ready to plunge into the action that is possible through the training and mock drills which are conducted at regular intervals. Secondly, it depends on contribution made in rescue and relief of by men and material available locally in nearby areas of the accident site. Third, it depends on the availability of adequate resources with the disaster management team, both in terms of men and material. So sometimes the team will approach, they may have the shortage of men. So adequate number of men can be mobilized within their own unit or elsewhere, but all of them should work in tandem. And materials, whatever are there, should be promptly communicated so that they can be brought. For example, in case of a major accident, there may be a need for stretchers, there may be need for bandages and some types of medicines. So the teams which are coming and joining later should bring all this equipment and material to the site. Lastly and most importantly, depends on extensive teamwork and coordinated efforts of various departments. This is a very, very important aspect because at the site, the success depends on the coordinated efforts. In railways, we are a well-structured organization and we have very well-defined functions to all concerned. So all the personnel should have clarity on the role of each other and how they can cooperate with each other so that everybody can perform their duties very effectively. The extent to which these various departments, agencies interact, cooperate and coordinate with one another determines the level of success of all such accidents handling. Proper liaison with civil administration and press. Today, in the digital revolution, there is a lot of importance on sharing right information in the right time so that we can alleviate unnecessary fears and also rumors which will cause agitation to the passengers as well as to their relatives. So here also, we should have proper liaison. These are the tenets, 6 tenets of the best accident management. First, we will have now, once the disaster occurred, then in 3 phases, in time factor, I will describe how we react. First phase, it begins with the spontaneous reaction of men available on the train at the time of accident, and duration is normally within 30 minutes of the occurrence, that is within golden hour. That is, even sometimes, within the 1 hour of golden hour, 30 minutes, up to 30 minutes may be consumed by people to realize and act. But the lesser it is, the more effective we are. Second phase, continues with contribution made in rescue and relief of by men and material available locally in nearby areas and of the accident site. Duration 2 to 4 hours. This requires the local, the persons who are working in that area. It may be the gangman, it may be the people who are approaching from the nearby station, and identify what are the facilities available nearby and mobilize various resources. The third phase, it is the longest because it consists of planned action by trained disaster management teams working in ARMBs, ARTs, accident relief trains, who arrive at the site to carry out rescue and relief operations. This can start and as early as 3 to 4 hours and can extend and can go on for even days together. But this is the third phase, because this will totally, once these teams arrive, the total relief will be handled by them for restoration also, in addition to the rescue. Now let us look at the responsibility of each of the members who are part of the first responders at the site immediately after the accident. That is, as I was describing, phase 1, those who are on the train are working in the near proximity. Success in any task depends on the teamwork. Teamwork starts with empathy. Every member should know other member's role and his strength and his contribution and respect it. ये एक्सीडेंट साइट में कैसा होगा, आज का डेट में हमारा रेलवे सिस्टम में बहुत अच्छी तरह ये सिस्टम सेट हुआ है, उसमें कैसा हो रहा है, अभी एक एक इम्पॉर्टेंट पर्सन जो गोल्डन आवर में वाइटल रोल प्ले करेगा, उनके बारे में अभी हम बात करेंगे। सबसे पहले है लोको पायलट एंड असिस्टेंट लोको पायलट, जिनको पता चलता है कोई अनफॉर्चुनेट एक्सीडेंट हो गया तो so they have to switch on the flasher light of the loco and note the time and place of the accident. They have to protect adjacent lane as per GR 6.03 and SR 6.03, and then they have to provide information to control and adjacent station and all other concerned, whatever are the means available, maybe the portable telephone, or it may be their communication they have with them regularly with that. And then assist the train manager, that is the popularly known as guard, in starting the basic relief and rescue operations. Then train manager, as you know, train is, front side you have the driver and assistant, loco pilot and assistant loco pilot taking care, and the rear portion you have the train manager or guard. To note and convey the details of accident, these are the responsibilities of the train manager. Ensure protection of adjacent lane, same as that of the loco pilot. Convey information to section controller through the quickest means, because section controller, an operating functionary, is the in charge of the traffic department, and the guard is required to update him immediately. Make a survey of casualties, injuries and damages and mobilize the railway staff at the site. So normally जब कोई ऐसा accident होता है तो the people have to report either to the train superintendent or to the TT or to the guard at the earliest, so that they can be immediately given task to help the passengers. Render first aid to passengers and arrange to shift the injured ones to the nearby hospital. A task common है, but in first phase में this is taken care by the train manager as the site in charge, because normally if you don't have any officer on the train, then it is the train manager who has to take control of the situation. Then to remain in charge of the site till the arrival of an officer. Sometimes there may be a traveling officer who is competent and to take over the site responsibility. If not, the train manager will man the things till the responsible officer takes over the charge. Then commercial department, that is the TT and also various functionaries who may be approaching later. Give timely information to passengers. Take care of the passengers and their belongings. Make necessary transport arrangements. Take care of catering needs of passengers. Meet with and accident site, the accident site staff working there, and arrange ex gratia amount to the injured, so that they will have immediate wherewithal to come out of their personal suffering. And also getting an application for claims in case of casualty from kith and kin. Sometime किसी का डेथ हो गया तो उसका रिलेटिव्स आ गया तो उनसे तो जो एप्लीकेशन होता है क्लेम्स के बारे में, जो उसका रिलेटिव्स का जो भी है, तो वो लेने में भी उसका एक इमीडिएट रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी बनता है. update the details of casualties injured from hospitals and places where they are treated. This gives comfort to the passengers and their relatives, because they will know that so-and-so is injured at so-and-so place. That itself will give to the family, often who will be very far from the site, the necessary support. Establishment of help desks at stations and pass on the updated information to emergency cell time to time. Arrange for the transshipment of goods if required. Sometimes it may require, there may be a goods train also involved, and the materials there may be obstructing the rescue or the restoration work, and they have to help in clearing them. And then comes the SNT department. Seal the block instrument, relay rules, and note the position of levers, knobs, slides, indications, and obtain data logger report. This is a very important step, because unlike other accidents, in railway accidents, three activities will go together. One, of course, the topmost priority is the rescue. Then restoration, so that we can start running the trains immediately at the earliest and in a safe manner. Third, investigation. The cause of the accident is to be investigated by the officers of appropriate level, and so that we can learn from that experience and avoid a repetition. So here the signal is the primary indicator for movement of a train. So that's why the various equipment of SNT department are to be properly recorded, and they have to take note of them, and data logger report, which will give the total movements of various trains, or the signaling vyavastha has to be protected and made available for inquiry. So that's why this is the role of the signal department. Provide portable and emergency telephone sets, if needed, with the satellite connection or BSNL or railway lines with STD at the site for prompt and faster communication. Arrange for materials to the spot for restoration work. Parallelly, in addition to this, they have to start arranging the material needed. There may be damages to the various equipment of the signaling. It has to be attended, means they require the various materials. Hotline to the division control cell and headquarters, so that all people at various levels are fully aware of what is going on and what is required. Make available mobile and walkie-talkie sets. So sometimes you must have seen the charging is also very important. Be it RPF, be it anybody, one should carry the sufficient number of battery spares, so that the walkie-talkie will not run out and the communication is not broken. Arrange for early restoration of the signaling and telephone equipments, and extend telephone facilities to the stranded equipment passengers. So the passengers who are stuck there, they may like to call their homes, or they may have to communicate to remote locations. They have to be provided an access to the phone, and assisting other departments in restoring the train services. This is a very important aspect, because in addition to SNT, other departments also parallelly have to work to get their respective support based on the site conditions. So there also they have to help them in arranging the communication and priority. Medical department, their role comes wherever there is injury is involved or passenger train is involved, with which is causes an injury during an accident, which involves an injury. So there they have normally two teams. Team A stays back at the divisional hospital and performs duties as given below. Team B, headed by CMS in charge, rushes to the accident site immediately by the accident relief medical van, along with the doctors and paramedics. The nearest available medical officer shall proceed with equipment available in ARME, whatever is available in his disposal. Scale 2, what is normally can be carried to the site of the accident. It is done by the medical officer nearest available. He may be the ADMO, DMO, the railway unit, health unit, whatever is nearby. So they will have to rush. Duties of Team A at Divisional Hospital are: establish an emergency cell in the casualty unit of the hospital. Contact local hospitals. It may be railway, it may be government, it may be private. near the accident site and ask them to rush their ambulances along with necessary medical teams to the accident site and be in readiness to receive and provide medical treatment to injured passengers. If it is not possible to move up to the divisional hospital, they may have to be treated in the government hospital nearby. This was the main reason why a lot of people could be helped in the Odisha accident. So they were rushed to the nearby hospitals, plenty of hospitals. Lot of ambulances also were arranged by the state government, and good coordination was there with which they could move them and provide them all the necessary health assistance. Coordinate with the SMS of adjoining divisions. Sometimes it may happen on the edge of this division, almost boundary nearby. Then they have to talk to the other division CMS so that if they have a chance to reach earlier, यदि वो पहले पहुंच सकता है, किसी डिवीजन का एकदम बाउंड्री के पास हुआ है तो बगल वाला डिवीजन वाला पहले पहुंच सकता है, तो उससे भी तुरंत हेल्प लेने का प्रयास करना चाहिए. जो साइट पे जो है, जो हम टीम बी कहते हैं, उनका क्या रोल्स है? टेक आउट द इंजर्ड पैसेंजर्स फ्रॉम द कोचेस. यहाँ पे they may not carry physically, or if they have the paramedical staff, they may participate to carry the passengers physically. But if others are carrying, maybe local communities or railway personnel or the ART staff, a doctor can look at the passenger and tell how he should be carried. Because if somebody has having a neck injury, he should be handled separately, differently compared to back injury, and also somebody may have laceration. तो उनका सिचुएशन के मुताबिक वो लोगों को गाइड करके उसको सेफली बाहर निकलवा के सही मेडिकल ट्रीटमेंट दिलाने में एक टीम बी में जो ऑफिसर जो साइट पे है मेडिकल डिपार्टमेंट का, उसका काफ़ी रोल होता है. डेड बॉडीज फ्रॉम द कोचेस. तो पहले तो वो डेड है करके हैज टू बी असरटाइंड सो दैट दैट हैज टू बी ट्रीटेड अप्रोप्रिएटली विद रिस्पेक्ट एंड बॉडी को निकालना. एंड इंजर्ड पैसेंजर टू द नियरेस्ट हॉस्पिटल. यहाँ पे किसको कहाँ ले जाना है, कौन सा ट्रीटमेंट करना है, क्या सिचुएशन है, ये कोऑर्डिनेट करने में टीम बी का जो मेडिकल डॉक्टर होते हैं वो काफ़ी इंपॉर्टेंट रोल प्ले करते हैं. लोकल हॉस्पिटल्स के साथ बात करके वो पैसेंजर्स का क्या प्रॉब्लम है वो कम्युनिकेट करने में भी इन लोगों का काफ़ी रोल होता है. देन टेकिंग आउट इंजर्ड पैसेंजर्स after the accident, there are some passengers who may not be requiring hospital attention. They have to be simply brought out and given some amount of treatment. So doing that and giving them first aid and preparing the list of injured passengers, classifying their injuries. तरह तरह का इंजरी होते हैं, उसको किस टाइप का इंजरी लोगों को हुआ उसको क्लासिफाई करके वो भी एक रिकॉर्ड इन लोगों को मेंटेन करना पड़ता है. And transport them to the hospitals, of course, and taking an initial round of hospitals and assessment of situation. कई बार ये डॉक्टर जो साइट पे है उसको बाद में जैसा सभी लोगों का ट्रांसपोर्ट खत्म हो जाता है, they should preferably go to the hospitals where these people are admitted, so that they know exactly what is going on, how well they are being taken care, if there is any gap between their assessment and the seriousness of the passenger involved in the accident. And after admission in hospital also they require continuous follow-up, and that has to be how to provide the hospital care. Normally one doctor better look after one hospital along with a commercial supervisor and welfare inspector, so that all the three important functions which are pertaining to providing the relief to the passenger are working in tandem. If large number of hospitals are involved, then 2-3 hospitals are given to one team of consisting of a doctor and a representative from commercial and welfare. In the case of doctor stations himself in the hospital, where maximum number of patients are admitted. Suppose in any hospital, there are too many patients, especially when it is non-railway hospital, so a doctor is required to position himself there and he is supposed to provide them the continuous assistance for them. He will act as a bridge between the private hospital or government hospital providing the treatment and the railways. Then what are the various types of injuries? First one is grievous. This comes under Indian Penal Code 320. The second one is simple. A person is incapacitated for 48 hours from the occurrence of the accident. Third one is trivial. These are injuries such as abrasions, bruises, not requiring hospitalization. एक तो बहुत गंभीर तरीका का इंजरी है, दूसरा सिंपल इंजरी है जिसमें 48 आवर्स से ज़्यादा उनको टाइम नहीं लगेगा रिकवर होने में। तीसरा है कि ट्रिवियल इंजरी है जिसमें उसको नॉर्मली जो भी चोट लगता है, थोड़ा स्वेलिंग होता है और स्क्रैचेस होता है, इस टाइप का चीज़ जो है कि ट्रिवियल इंजरी में आता है। And numbering of the and photography of the body should be done even when relatives are on hand to claim the body. कभी एक्सीडेंट के बाद there may be lot of medical legal issues. That's why when a person unfortunately dies, then their photograph has to be taken, the number has to be given before handing it over to the relatives. Though it may consume little time, it has to be done. But appreciating the concerns of the passengers near and dear, one should do it at the earliest. Arrange for hiring of a couple of big halls for keeping bodies. This is the treating the dead with respect. किसी का देहांत हो गया, उसको अच्छी तरह रेस्पेक्ट और सम्मान के साथ उसका बॉडी को इम्पोर्टेंस देना पड़ता है। तो उसके लिए तो आसपास में जो हॉल है, जो भी है, एक बड़ा सा लोकेशन है कि उसको जितना तक हो सकता है अच्छी कंडीशन में रखें। And room should be preferably at a single location so that relays don't have to go around the mortuary to mortuary. This is very important. In addition to the sad incident, किसी का फैमिली में किसी का मृत्यु हो गया है, तो उनको तरफ तरफ का हॉस्पिटल मार्चरी ढूंढ के अपना लोगों को निकालने का जरूरत नहीं पड़ना चाहिए। तो यहाँ पे फोटोग्राफ भी काम आएगा, उसका जो आइडेंटिटी कार्ड बनाएगा वो भी काम आएगा, और लोगों को ये इतना जितना लोग हो सके अपना डेड बॉडी हो सकते हैं उसको एक जगह पे रखने से तो उनका नियर बियर को उसको क्विकली आइडेंटिफाई करने में विदाउट मच ऑफ डिस्ट्रेस सुविधा होगा। सो समटाइम्स स्कूल बिल्डिंग्स आर वेरी आइडियल एंड नियर बाय स्कूल बिल्डिंग में डिफरेंट इसमें तो रख सकते हैं, बट एक ही जगह पे सभी बॉडी तो रखने का मौका मिलता है। Notice board outside the building should display room numbers, especially and which body is where, whose body is where. So that will give them, their relatives quick chance to go and identify their near and dear ones. Where bodies are extracted from a particular coach have been kept. तो वो लिस्ट में इस क्लियर इंडिकेट कर देते हैं कि इस कोच से ये लोग को निकाला गया है, जिससे कि लोगों को पता चलेगा उनका रिलेटिव किस कोच में ट्रैवल कर रहे हैं, सपोज S3 S4 जो भी है, तो लोग तुरंत वहाँ तक पहुँच सकते हैं। और पैसेंजर वाइज बेड वाइज डिटेल शुड बी पोस्टेड ऑन ए नोटिस बोर्ड आउटसाइड ईच रूम। ये तो जो ट्रीटमेंट हो रहा है उन लोग के बारे में भी ऐसा ही क्लियर डिस्प्ले होना चाहिए। ये पैसेंजर यहाँ से इस कोच से रिकवर किया गया, इनका नाम ये है, ये यहाँ पे इस बेड पे ट्रीटमेंट अंडरगो कर रहा है, जिससे कि उसको अपना रिलेटिव्स को जल्दी मिलने को मौका मिलेगा। Commercial supervisor should be put on round the clock duty in the building housing the temporary mortuary for guiding relatives as and when they come. This is in the case of dead passengers. उनका जो भी रिलेटिव आते हैं उसको कमर्शियल इंस्पेक्टर उसको गाइड करके ले जाएगा उसको mortuary तक to identify their relatives. So here you can see there is a important teamwork. It may be anybody, but at the site, if you see that, whatever we are seeing, these are not the functions of just one branch. One branch plays the major role, and others will provide the support. Then comes the engineering branch. Engineering branch will have the advantage of having gangman nearby, and also sometimes some works may be going on, and some equipment of them also may be available. It may be the excavators, or it may be the lorries, tippers, road cranes, contractors' vehicles also sometimes. They all can be mobilized for the best relief to the passengers and provide the best possible medical treatment at the earliest. So protecting the railway site and assist other departments in restoration work, preparing the plan of the accident site, assisting other departments in restoring train services. All these activities will be going parallelly at the site. Electrical department plays a major role in providing the lighting and isolation of the power wherever there are the power lines are there, and requires the movement or slewing of the lines, and also they will play a role in restoration of the lines wherever they are destroyed. These are the major activities of the electrical department. In accident site which requires night working, lighting is the main strength. So here electrical department should have sufficient amount of generators with necessary fuel, whatever is the type of fuel they use, so that the lighting is provided uninterrupted and sufficiently at the site. Safety department. Quick movement of ARMs to the ARTs to the site, quick movement of materials for restoration of work, arrangement of relief trains for the stranded passengers. जो वहाँ स्टकअप हो जाते हैं, उन पैसेंजर्स को तुरंत दूसरा ट्रेन में शिफ्ट करके उसका डेस्टिनेशन तक पहुँचाने में भी उसका मदद हो सकता है। ये कमर्शियल डिपार्टमेंट के साथ कोऑर्डिनेट करके करना पड़ता है। असेसमेंट ऑफ प्रोबेबल टाइम ऑफ रिस्टोरेशन, सो दैट लोगों को कंटिन्यूसली अपडेट मिलेगा कब ये रिस्टोरेशन कंप्लीट होगा, कब ट्रेन सर्विसेज नॉर्मली रिस्टोर हो जाएगा। And operating and safety departments together will work on regulating and diverting the other trains if needed, arrangement of video photography of the site and important tools required for investigation, recording of joint observations at the site by all the concerned departments, PWA, LOPO, rolling stock, etc. And now comes the role of the mechanical department. Disaster management in Indian Railways is handled by the Mechanical Directorate in the Railway Board. And the accident relief trains, the custodians are the mechanical branches divisional officers. And there is a CMP, disaster management and diesel in the headquarters who coordinates at the zonal level. And the entire equipment, that is the cranes, hydraulic equipment, cutters, jacks, all these equipments are provided in the accident relief trains, are maintained regularly and inspected and conducted trials on a continuous basis for keeping people ever ready is done by the mechanical department. So that's why movement of sufficient men and material to the site for derailment. These are normally drafted from a list of nominated people working in a depot. In normal course they will be doing routine duties, but in the event of accident, all of them rush to the accident spot within the time stipulated by boarding the ARTs or ARMs. Start the rescue operations to save the trapped passengers and move them safely. Start the derailment work with HRE and 140-ton crane accordingly. And they are also required to operate the hydraulic rescue devices and then cut the coaches if needed with the equipment available, so that wherever passengers are stranded, they have to be safely brought out. Or suppose some part of their body is stuck, that has to be eased out. उसको बाहर उसका जो पार्ट जो स्टकअप हो गया उसकी वजह से भी कभी कभी पैसेंजर फंस सकता है, या तो उसका पैर वहाँ फंस के टूट भी सकता है। ऐसी जब चीज़ें होते हैं वो पार्ट को काट के, जो मैकेनिकल पार्ट जो होता है, जो मे बी मैकेनिकल स्ट्रक्चर और फ्रेम जो भी है, उसको काट के उन लोगों को सेफली बाहर निकालना भी ये मैकेनिकल डिपार्टमेंट का काम होता है। Preserve railway materials as clue for investigation and assist taking joint observations. ये साथ साथ जैसा रेस्क्यू खत्म हो जाएगा, कुछ लोग जो है कि ज़्यादा कंसंट्रेशन रिस्टोरेशन पे करेगा, बाकी लोग जो है कि ये इन्वेस्टिगेशन में भी असिस्टिंग करेगा। पर्सनल डिपार्टमेंट, welfare inspector is to be posted round the clock in the site to look after the welfare of the injured person in the hospital. He should ensure the complimentary passes are issued to the relatives and escorts of the injured for visiting them in the hospital and taking them back to home. So ये पर्सनल डिपार्टमेंट के जो वेलफेयर इंस्पेक्टर है, एक तो वहाँ पोस्ट करना मांगता है और वो तुरंत कॉम्प्लीमेंट्री पासेस इशू करके उनका जो पैसेंजर अफेक्टेड पार्टीज का रिलेटिव्स है उसका मूवमेंट अरेंज करेगा, उसको वापस जो पैसेंजर इंजर्ड है उसको ले जाने में भी मदद करेगा। Welfare inspector shall assist the doctors in taking down the names and addresses of the dead and injured and shifting them to hospital. Any transfer of dead body injured to some other hospital should be intimated to senior DCM or DCM immediately. So he will act as the bridge between the passengers, the relatives, doctors, and also to the commercial department, so that the communication regarding various activities done to provide comfort to the passenger affected by the accident is done smoothly. Accounts department will ensure availability of sufficient money. Every department, as you can see, every department who may not be visible and cannot be imagined in conventional sense are having very conspicuous role, plays a major, gives a major contribution for effective disaster management. So that's why we are identifying each department role. Accounts department's role is very important to provide the sufficient amount of cash to the meeting the emergency expenses, ex gratia, checks for making the ex gratia payment. As promptly as we provide the financial assistance to the affected parties, they will be more, at least more comfortable in coming to terms with whatever is the suffering they had. In stores departments, part purchases may be required, relief material may be required, and these are all can be arranged by the stores department. And now comes to the security department. So far, it is mostly focused on the cordoning of the area, protecting the belongings of the injured passengers, controlling of the crowd, make available for the firefighting arrangements, etc. And check for possibilities of sabotage and their crews, coordinating with GRP and local police. Traditionally, this has been the rule. Now there is a louder thinking, and also at all levels, everybody is having a thought that we should use the RPF's potential to act as the rescuers by working in tandem with other departments, especially mechanical department. So now we will specially delve into the RPF role and what are the various instructions available at board level one by one. RPF's role is first clearly defined in the 1997 circular, Standing Order number 34. In this standing order, the role of RPF staff was specified as first responders during railway accidents, providing necessary succor, reinforcement, assisting with necessary equipment, and carrying out adequate action at the accident site in golden hour. This golden hour concept, when it was getting stabilized, RPF personnel were advised to act as the first responders, and they have the possibility. Those who are traveling for escort in the train can do that. In addition, the RPF personnel available nearest to the accident spot who can reach within golden hour can also play a major role. That's why this instruction was given. Then further elaboration was given in the high-level committee recommendations, which was set up after the Gaisel accident. And institutionalization of golden hour drill, item number 15B. RPF has to do relief operations including care for the dead, crowd control, and law and order at the site, and seek state police clearance for restoration. This is a very important assistance which RPF can provide, not only helping in the golden hour, but also to ensure that the restoration is done at the earliest. As per HLCR, item number 46, there should be a disaster management team of RPF in each division of Indian Railways comprising about 15 men in different ranks. This team shall specially trained in providing necessary support for disaster management over the division or the neighboring divisions, and RPF should play an active role in managing law and order situation at the site. So they have to be specially trained to handle various problems at the site in addition to the regular RPF personnel who are deployed. These trained personnel will act as the coordinators with all other departments and also with their own reinforcement who arrive from their respective bases to the site depending on the severity of accident. But 15 men are required to be trained intensively as per the recommendation 46. then RPF has to take care of the safe custody and appropriate disposal of luggage. Often there will be no claimants for luggage. It has to be kept in safe custody. And if it is claimed, so it has to be handed over after the verifying the various correctness of their claim. RPF in crowd control is included in chapter 8 and 15 of DM plan of Indian of the Railway Board also. Disaster management plan published by the Railway Board in the year 2019 lays special emphasis on the RPF role in chapter 8. They are detailed as follows. In case of any disaster affecting railways, serious train accidents, fire incidents, explosion in trains or on railway premises, terrorist acts, hijacking of trains, RPF will coordinate with other departments of railways, GRP, district police and various central and state authorities for speedier relief and rescue operations. These kind of incidents which may be having the reason other than the natural cause or any man-made error, especially terrorist activities or the explosions or hijackings. In these incidents, it is a collective effort not only of the RPF, the other uniform forces coming from outside the railways. And there RPF has the best wherewithal to contribute to handle them at the earliest in the best possible manner. In case of chemical, biological, radiological, nuclear disaster, that is called as CBRN, or natural calamity, RPF will provide support services in rescue, rehabilitation and mitigation efforts. This is the area where RPF is required to undergo special training in the specialized agencies so that they can handle these kind of rare incidences which can occur in a railway situation and keep the healthy organization and capacity building for handling such situations. Crowd control is a major challenge because most of the crowd coming to the site will be coming with a good intention of helping the people. But at the same time, unknowingly they may be causing some obstruction to those who are supposed to do their work. It may be rescue, it may be restoration. यहाँ पे situation बड़ा sensitive है, इसको RPF personnel बहुत carefully manage करना पड़ता है, so that the people who are coming forward, local communities, will not be unnecessarily feeling alienated. At the same time, our railway personnel will not feel obstructed. Muster maximum number of available manpower within the shortest possible time and dispatch them to the scene of accident by the quickest means. Here, if you see, हर जगह पे जितना जल्दी, जितना maximum पहुंचा सकते हैं, उस पर emphasis है. ये एक important focus है RPF का. Efforts will be made to get reinforcement from the neighboring posts, outposts, reserve line, divisional headquarters or zonal headquarters, so that जल्दी से जल्दी maximum लोग को साइट में पहुंचाने का उसको chance मिलेगा. While sending reinforcement, it should be ensured that the necessary equipment required for rescue, recovery and protection such as torches, nylon ropes, poles, loudhailers, stretchers and the first aid equipments, wireless sets, luminous jackets, cameras, videos, etc. are provided. Every RPF personnel must keep this instruction permanently etched in their memory. जो साइट पे विदाउट प्रॉपर इक्विपमेंट पहुंचेगा, उनका जो यूटिलिटी जो है बहुत लिमिटेड हो जाता है. इसलिए जाने से पहले ये सब इक्विपमेंट जो उसके पास है तो वो सब ले जाना है, नहीं है तो दूसरी जगह से उसको मंगाना है. और ये इक्विपमेंट को क्विकेस्ट टाइम में ले जाने का एक रेगुलर ड्रिल करना भी बहुत ज़रूरी है, so that they will be ready to move with all the necessary equipment without forgetting anything by chance. Segregate the area of incident by establishing temporary barriers by using nylon ropes garden in the area. This is a major challenge, as already told. It is a delicate balance between the nominated workforce and the onlookers and the volunteers. So here communication skill plays a major role in mobilizing the right people for the rescue or the assistance. RPF personnel should respond to any call for assistance to rescue victims and transport them to the nearest hospital. A record of casualties sent to the hospital to be maintained. RPF has the big advantage of having fit and disciplined people in uniform. That will help in providing the necessary muscle power needed to lift the passengers who are injured and immobilized and take them to the ambulances, etc. So here RPF personnel can play a major role, which is what we are now trying to expand. A temporary RPF assistance post with proper boat should be established at conspicuous location. So this will provide them the visibility and act as a point where the local agencies, law enforcement agencies can come and interact. Deployment RPF may be done on need basis to provide relief, rescue and rehabilitation consequent to any disaster situation over railways. So the need basis, suppose if the accident is not involving any passengers or not involving any major accident, then it is the prerogative of the in charge of the accident site to decide what kind of resources are required from the RPF. Senior most security official shall coordinate with the police official present for ensuring security of passengers' luggage, especially in passenger train accidents. Coordination with GRP, state police, civil authorities is entrusted to the divisional and zonal level by concerned RPF officials. They should have regular communication channels open so that they can talk to the other agencies and provide necessary assistance without losing any time on account of communication gap. An SOP on coordination and flow of information between RPF and state agencies has also been circulated to all zonal railways in the year 2014. This has to be very religiously adhered. एक planned way में information share करके काम करने से ये डिलेज जो होता है कम्युनिकेशन गैप की वजह से वो अवॉइड कर सकते हैं. RPF representatives are the part of state level security committees for railways. They are called as SLSCRs. Constitution of SLSCRs has been done with a view to have regular review of security over railways and to address railway related security issues at appropriate level. This is another very important area because एक एक्सीडेंट होने के बाद और कहीं जो ऐसी थ्रेट महसूस करने के बाद वो तुरंत स्टेट गवर्नमेंट का बाकी एजेंसीज जिसका मदद चाहिए उससे डिस्कस करने के लिए एक फोरम है सो दैट दे कैन अवॉइड रिपीट ऑफ एन already happened incident or prevent something which is likely to happen by having preparedness. There, these bodies will play a major role in alerting all concerned about the propensity of the threat. Initiate action for expeditious clearance by the state police in case of railway accident involving loss of human lives or injuries to the passenger. They act as the representatives of railways with various local authorities. Especially state police, and help the passengers to complete the formalities early for whatever are the whether it may be the death or it may be injury in those incidents. Bomb detection system has been envisaged under integrated security system. It provides for deployment of detection capability in RPF. RPF personnel are being trained in phased manner in each zone and railway to develop capability in bomb detection. So this is at the incipient stage and more involvement here will help because as of now already RPF is doing an excellent job at the entry points with the help of scanners and also with the help of the dog squad. They are doing an excellent job. But more professional approach is possible if they are specially trained. Handling of terrorist acts, hijacking of trains in accordance with conditions of the crisis at local level and instructions received from concerned crisis management groups at zonal and national level. This is a matter of satarkata. That is that they should be ready and alert on various occasions. We must have seen on different dates which are sensitive. Alert is circulated by the Ministry of Home Affairs through the railway ministry, and at various places the checks are intensified. So such acts may happen on those kind of sensitive dates or even otherwise. In both the cases, the RPF should be alert and should be in touch with the local authorities so that they can avoid such occurrence in railway premises. So I request all of you to get familiarized with the Disaster Management Act. The DM Act is a major milestone in India's disaster management preparedness. So DM Act was passed by Parliament, Rajya Sabha on 28 November 2005 and Lok Sabha on 12 November 2005. It received President Accent on 23rd December. It has 11 chapters and 79 sections. The Act extends to whole of India and provides for the effective management of disasters and for the matters connected therewith and incidents thereto. So there are Chapter 1 deals with preliminary, Chapter 2 NDMA about the National Disaster Management Authority, then Chapter 3 regarding the SDMA, that is State Level District Management Authority. Chapter 3 is District Disaster Management Authority. It's a three-tier structure. This is a policy making body which will have at the NDMA at national level, SDMA at the state level, DDMA at the district level. All these details are laid down in the chapters 1 to 11 of the Disaster Management Act. So the core of the disaster management cycle is preparation, response and recovery. They depend on the capacity building, pre-impact assessment, handling emergencies, restoration and reconstruction. NDMAs, SDMAs and DDMAs all will have an important role in identifying threat perception. It may be not only from railway, for all other sectors also. Hope I am able to provide a good overview of all the departments of Indian Railways in disaster management and how we can function well with coordinated effort, especially giving the best during the golden hour. For more clarity on the policy framework and Indian Railways disaster management preparedness, please go through the Disaster Management Act 2005, DM Act 2005, and the role of NDMAs, SDMAs, DDMAs, NDRF, all are given in the 11 chapters of the DM Act, which was passed in the year 2005. In addition, Railways Disaster Management Plan 2019 provides very clear guidelines on how and to act in various situations in a structured manner within the framework. So request all of you to go through them so that all of us will be better prepared to handle any unfortunate incident, so that we can take care of our customers extremely well and prevent any untoward incident. Wish you all the very best. Jai Hind.